Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe football show. It is Saturday morning. I hope you're having a good weekend. The Euros have started. Italy absolutely spanked Turkey last night, 3-0. If you had a chance to join me on the watch along, thanks to those that did. The video is still available if you want to check that out. But know that I will be doing one at 2 o'clock today as well for Wales versus Switzerland, because, of course, our boy Tyler Roberts will be featuring in that game. Hopefully, anyway, off the bench. Otherwise, it'll be wasted. But it doesn't matter anyway. I'm doing it. I'll be following all the Leeds United players and all the big games throughout the Euros, and of course the mighty England as well. So make sure you get the notification bell smashed if you want to join me on them videos as well. But this is the Daily Leeds. This is all the latest news at Elland Road, Thorp and everything concerning Leeds. And it's a jam-packed show today, guys. You want to stick around for it. There is a lot of information getting thrown your way on this episode. Before we do get into it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course hit that notification bell and enjoy it. As I said, guys, it is a jam-packed show today. We have got so much to talk about, not least a lot of transfer rumours, and of course that man Noa Lang from Club Bruges. He's the one that won't go away, like many of the players that keep getting linked, which makes you think, you know what, we really are interested in this guy. Obviously, Noa Lang, if you've watched this religiously, and if you watch a lot of other content creators out there, you'll have seen he's been linked for a while. But Fabrizio Romano, the Italian oracle, the Italian Phil Hay, the Messiah, he's like the main man when it comes to any sort of transfer news. He's like Phil Hay on steroids. He tweeted out the other day about the links to Noa Lang and said, basically, the Belgian club are trying to keep him. They're offering him a new contract, but Leeds want to open talks with Noa Lang and Club Bruges. Also, he did add on that Marcelo Bielsa is expected to sign his new contract with Leeds very, very soon, which we know anyway. We know it's going to happen. I don't want to give that too much attention because I have no worries about it, whatever. And when this came out from Fabrizio Romano, you're like thinking, is he late to the party? Because we've known about the Noa Lang link for ages. But then again, would someone like Fabrizio Romano be really late to the party? No, the guy's the oracle. So it must mean that talks are even closer or are even further down the line than any of us have expected, because the Noa Lang stuff had gone very, very quiet for a while. Obviously, I did a video a couple of weeks back now where we talked about his attitude, his issues at Ajax with Ten Hag. Of course, he was seen singing anti-Semitic chants. You know, let's not forget that after Club Bruges won the title, and he's a bit of a mad character. Obviously, he's an exceptional footballer. We'll go through some of the stuff. I'm going to put the link in the description to LeedsLive. They've done a bit of a run through of Noa Lang and about his story and just how the story's developed throughout the month. And I don't know with Noa Lang. I don't know if he would fit into our group, you know. If Bielsa signed off on him, okay, that's great. But there's real question marks over him. And I think the thing at Leeds United, for me at the minute, the core group is so strong. Like, we are so lucky to have such a great group. Maybe Noa Lang comes into that, and you don't want anyone coming in to be that bad apple. But I guess the club won't sign off on him if they're not certain on him. And you know, with the players that we have at the club, your likes of Cooper, your likes of Dallas, Elland, do they put an arm around him? You know, will Noa Lang be willing to put in the work that's required under Marcelo Bielsa? I'm not sure, you know, but let's go back to that article. As I say, the link is in the description. So initially it was reported from Mike McGrath in the Telegraph. He said that Lang had become a major target for Leeds United on the back of a season packed with goals in Belgium's top flight. He was on loan at Club Bruges from parent club Ajax, but will move to Bruges permanently this summer as part of a £6 million obligation to buy agreement. It does not move. It does not rule out a chance of a move, though. But of course, it makes any switch more expensive for Leeds United. But it would be an instant profit for Club Bruges if they wanted 10, 15 million. They double the money straight off the bat. It's really interesting, though, for me, the fact that Ajax loaned him out with a potential, you know, permanent move due to issues that he's had. You know, there were stories of him having arguments with the more experienced pros, the captain at the time, Dusan Tadic, who we know from his time in England. Obviously, there was the issues with Ten Hag as well. There's a video where Ten Hag's actually saying to him, you know, this isn't your game. You play for the team. This isn't all about you. And he's actually seen like looking angrily at Ten Hag, you know. Anyway, as the story developed, Simon Jones of the Daily Mail reported that at the end of May, we'd already opened talks with Lang's representatives. He's an exceedingly confident player. His long-term future looks to lie away from Bruges, from Belgium. Obviously scoring 16 goals. He's an exceptional talent. He's outgrown the Belgian Pro League. And apparently Jones reported that Marcelo Bielsa was appealed by Lang's versatility to play across the front three, left, right, centre, basically, you know. Then the Dutch outfit, GVA in Netherlands, reported that Bruges would only be interested in selling Lang for 25 million euros, which is their outgoing transfer record fee. So I'm saying 10, 15, but they're wanting 25 million euros. So they're almost, you know, quadrupling the amount they'll have to pay for him. And if they were to sell him for that much, as I say, that's their outgoing transfer record, which again would be a huge fee for us to pay for a potential bad apple. So it's an interesting one. And again, I don't want to hammer him because he might come and he might be great, but the stories are there and it's right to air them, you know, especially when he's singing anti-Semitic chants. Let's be honest, you know, we don't owe this kid out. I'm right to say where my head's at with it, you know. If he comes to Leeds and he does well, of course, he's an amazing talent by the looks of it, but there's still that stuff that shrouds it, you know. And then obviously fresh links emerged, as we said. You know, when Fabrizio Romano reported it, he said Leeds are back on the trail of Noa Lang. The Belgian was a name that was touted for a switch to Elland Road earlier in the window, but it has now been reinforced by claims from the transfer guru Romano. Lang was first muted as a possible target in the Telegraph in May, and obviously now we're on the 11th of June, and it's still rumbling on, you know. So we'll have to wait and see how this one develops. Joe Donoghue, who works at Leeds United Live, I believe he works with Connor at One Leeds, spoke about specifically his style. He said Lang plays predominantly as a left-sided forward, but he's versatile and has been used in a number of positions throughout his footballing education at Ajax famed academy. He is an energetic, hard-working, high-pressing forward who plays across the front, finding space between the lines. There is the potential that Lang would be deployed on the left-hand side of Leeds' attack, but could equally debutise as a centre-forward in Patrick Bamford's absence. That's Joe's thoughts on the player. I can't see him debutising as for Patrick Bamford. I think that's Rodrigo Moreno's role, but Joe clearly will know a lot more than me. But if we were to get him on the left side, I think we need competition on there for Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison's had an amazing season, but can flitter in and out of form. I think the replacements that we have, you know, the likes of Costa, Perraud, are they really up to it? I'm not so sure. A lot of the under-23s that are on them roles, apart from Somerville, they're not really ready for the step up. I have seen, though, Perraud doing a lot of work in the off-season. It reminds me of Jack Harrison, when we used to coin the phrase Jack Harrison, when he was just doing weights in the off-season. And I've seen Perraud doing it. It don't look like he's gone on holiday anymore. It still looks like he's at Thorp, and he's just putting on meat. He's just doing weights. So you never know. You might get a totally different player when Perraud comes back. But the link to that full article is down below. So make sure you check that out, guys. They do some great stuff at Leeds United Live. We've had an update on Perraud. Obviously, I spoke to you the other day. Saints were close to completing an 8.5 million deal for him. There was an unnamed club that swooped in and wanted to gazump them, and we're looking at more around the 10 million mark. We were all saying, is it Leeds United? Could it be the one? It turns out this unnamed club is in his home country of France. So it doesn't look like Leeds are going to go for Perraud after all. He was close to joining Saints. That's looked like it was nearly done, i.e. Leeds weren't bothered. And now this unnamed club that came in that set tongues wagging, maybe it was us. It turns out now it's an unnamed club in France. So I think that one's gone. And I'm okay with that. I want Javi Gallan, but again, there's an unnamed left-back that apparently we've spoken about. I did a watch-along last night of Italy versus Turkey, and a guy called Owen, credit to Owen, came on and said that it potentially was someone from Dortmund, you know. So I forget the guy. No, our Jet was pictured in Dortmund. Apparently, we're looking at a left back for Cologne, a 20-year-old. That player in question was Noa Lang. And again, pronunciation not my strong point, but big shout out Owen. Keep an eye on that. Maybe it could be Katterbach from Cologne. But again, who's seen this picture of Leeds United's Jet coming into Dortmund? And it's some proper ITK stuff, but you never know. You never know. As I say, it looks like Perraud is the one that is off. Another one that's off is, of course, Rodrigo de Paul. You know, he's been linked with Atletico Madrid. He's now been linked with Arsenal. We know he's linked to Liverpool. I think that's one that's got away. We needed to do it when it first arose, back when it did, and we couldn't get it done. And now he's going to be going for big bucks, and it looks like he could be on his way to Arsenal. So he's in, you know, there's a number of clubs interested in De Paul. I think that one's gone. I spoke to you the other day as well about Daryl Mbang, Beeston born, England future #1, been playing in the Bradford City under-18s since about 14 or something like that. Apparently he's an exceptional talent, and it looks like that deal's done. It looks like we've completed that deal, so keep your eyes peeled on that one. We've also heard on Jack Harrison. The Daily Mail are reporting that the fee has now risen to 13 million. I believed it was 11 million. It turns out it's 13 million. We did obviously have a previous option to buy him for 8 million, but it looks like that might have increased to 13 million. But we know Jack Harrison is going to be done. News on an outgoing Ryan Edmondson. The 20-year-old has joined Fleetwood Town on loan. With, I don't know if it's with a view to a perm, but it's clear for me that Edmondson's future does not lie at Leeds United. One nice thing is that he's going to be linking up with former ex-Whites boss Simon Grayson. So hopefully Edmondson can do bits for Fleetwood and Grayson in League One. There was another Q&A from Baron Cross. So I'm just going to give you some key updates on that. Baron was asked if there was any updates on Matheus Cunha, Harrison Reed and Romain Perraud. Obviously, we know about Perraud. I spoke to you just a second ago, but he says Cunha is one Leeds like, but is he on a long list of targets rather than the short list they're currently pushing hard for? Most of Europe like him too, so he wouldn't be an easy one. There's nothing solid I have seen or heard on Reed yet. He certainly plays in the right position, but would he be happy to sit on the bench behind Phillips for 35 weeks of the season? And he won't be cheap, as most English players aren't, which they never are. There'll be a number of clubs. You know, I could see Reed rocking up at a Newcastle. You know, I don't see him coming. He would be a great person to have in the squad to come on for Calvin. But like Baron said, who's going to be happy to, you know, if Calvin has no injuries, then he's literally not getting any games of football, is he? So is that the move for him? And Baron's saying that, you know, Matheus Cunha is someone we're interested in, but he's not on the, you know, when we spoke about Auto before, and he has this really short list, and, you know, maybe Cunha's one on the back burner, and we're really after Lang, you know. Don't know. He was also asked about Elfie Elmas, of course, the Spider, the North Macedonian Spider who plays at Napoli. You know, I said yesterday, great prospect, great talent. I was rightly told in the comment, look, he's only started 3 games for Napoli. You need to calm down. But that's fair enough. My bad. But there is a lot of potential there. And Baron said he's a name which has been on the club's radar, like so many across Europe for a long time. But it's unclear if he's someone they will pursue this summer. He was asked about the most realistic target for left back. He says there are dozens of names you consider realistic across Europe, but the one they feel they are furthest along with is not out there yet. Neither Gallon nor Perraud are understood to be top of that list. Maybe it's that, you know, the player from Cologne that we just spoke about. Maybe it is him. So we'll have to wait and see. As I say, on just to further to that point, on the Inside Elland Road podcast, which Graham Smith and Joe Urquhart do, if you don't listen to it, make sure you do. They said the unnamed left-back club expect it to be done nice and early. And, you know, so it looks like it's a lot further down the road than we know. And like we've seen with Otter and Leeds United, a lot of our players, no one really knew we were linked to them until they were almost done. I was in Benidorm when Rodrigo Moreno was linked, and it happened so quickly. Same with Llorente, same with Rafinha, who can forget fish and chip gate with Rafinha, you know. And apparently also Graham Smith said they have selected their midfielder. They know who they want. They're just waiting to get that deal done, but they are still undecided on the winger. So, you know, three or four quality signings, rest under 23s. It's not going to be massively busy, but I'm still excited. And then he was asked, this guy that plays in the Russian league, Kavicheva, or Carver as he's known, a lot of people said in the comments, don't worry about calling him Kavicha Karaskelia, which I think I've absolutely boxed that name off now. Just call him Carver. That's his nickname. He was asked, is there genuine interest in him? And if so, what are the chances? From some of the clips I've seen, this guy could be like another Rafinha. He looks quality. Barron said his agent would have you believe so. He is sure to be another Leeds have made a call about without pushing on with any great gusto. It remains to be seen whether they are going after him properly. Another being chased by a lot of Europe's top clubs. He did go on to say Leeds have generally kept their business quiet across the last couple of windows. The likes of Koch, Llorente, Rodrigo and Rafinha were not known to be real current targets until quite late in the talks. And he's bang on the money, just like I said a second ago, you know. So we'll have to wait and see. And maybe people, you know, come in the comments and say, oh, well, you know, look what happened last time. But we still got to report what's out there. And I hope you enjoy the videos, you know, and smash a like on it if you do. Charlie Creswell was speaking, just to finish up, Charlie Creswell was speaking about Pascal. Obviously, his centre-back partner Ollie Casey looks to be out, but one that will be sticking around is Charlie Creswell. I believe him to be a lead centre-back in the future, that's for sure. I remember going to LS11 Live and Andrew Hughes speaking about him glowingly and saying how good he was. And Creswell was just speaking about Pascal Struijk and how seeing him develop and seeing him get into the first team gives the rest of the lads so much confidence. You know, so that's great to hear as well. And finally, just to finish up, Cooper has had some words for Calvin Phillips ahead of the England versus Scotland game. Will Cooper play? I'm not sure. Will Calvin play? Who knows? But Cooper said, look, Calvin knows what I think of him. He's a great lad and I love him to pieces. I've seen his career go from being a young kid to an established player in the England team. He did say, though, it is pure business now. All that goes out of the window once you're on the pitch. Calvin is the same. He wears his heart on his sleeve, same as I do. Well, hopefully they can both meet on that pitch. It'd be great for Leeds fans if KP and Cooper played. What wouldn't be great, and Graham Smith said this on the Inside Elland Road pod, imagine it was 0-0 and Cooper came on and scored the winner. Wouldn't be great for me as an Englishman. And it's nice to see as well, just to finish up, I've said that 3 times now, but this is the final finish up. Diego Llorente was back with the Spain squad after he's coming through COVID. He was applauded back into the squad as well, which was great to see. And it's great to be able to do this video, do the watch alongs. I hope you're enjoying them. It's a bumper episode today. I hope you've stuck around till the end. Loads of news in there for you. Listen, before I do go, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment, and of course hit that notification bell. And I'll hopefully see you back here at 2 o'clock for Wales versus Switzerland. If not, have an amazing weekend. Enjoy the rest of the Euros, and I'll see you in a bit. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.